Hey guys, welcome to another stream. Right, let me just get the chat up here. Bear with me 1 minute. I can just see if it's working as well. Sounds good. Hey Johnny, how are you doing? Good to see you. Right. So, it's not our usual stream time. Hearing you loud and clear. Thank you. Right, hopefully the camera's set up all right. We've got the downward facing camera today. And a new product. Hey Kevin, how you doing? Good to see you. Look at this lovely bookmark. Thank you, Kevin. I'm going to talk a bit about that. Just give people enough time to sort of get in. A bit chilly from a damp Tuesday, but not too bad. Good to hear. Good to hear. Mike Earl, how are you doing? Ebbit, good to see you. It's an hour earlier than we normally stream, just because it's Tuesday. Jeff, good to see you. And I'm going to do my normal stream on Thursday, but I just wanted to talk for an hour about the haunted house, what it is. Hopefully you can see a good amount of it here. I think it's possible I might have to go in a little bit more. It's a little bit dark. We can probably turn this on. Does that work? Hello? There we go. That might be a bit better. Okay. And we're going to go through this. I want to talk about the rules, what's changed, and then on Thursday I want to do a roadmap stream, if you like. So having a little talk about the future and what we've got lined up, and also talk a bit about IST on Thursday as well. And then next Tuesday on Halloween, I'm going to do a stream, probably about 10 that day. And we're going to play the haunted house on the stream. Shala, how are you doing? Good to see you. Kevin, now rolling up a level 1 constable. Excellent. Evening all. Steve says, in a constable manner. Quick question. On IST, before you get into the awesome looking supplement, but I was going to print them out a couple of days ago and someone had mentioned you had an upcoming update planned. Yes, you are correct, Ebbit. I have updated it. We've added in some stuff. I'm going to go through it in more detail on Thursday. So I'll go through all the new additions and the changes then, because I want to try and keep it kind of live today on the haunted house, just because it's just been launched today, and we're looking at. I want to explain it a little bit while it's fresh. Is there a time frame for that? Yes, it is updated, so you can download it. It is all done. If you go into itch.io, and you'll see there that their patch details have gone in as well. So it's version 1.2, and you can see what's been updated. And I've had some positive feedback already from those who know, which is awesome. So we have Johnny. There was an update today. Yes, yesterday. Dominic, how are you doing? Already bought? Thank you, my friend. Much appreciate that. My copy is sneaking a quick pop. My copy sneaking a quick pop on while I'm at work. Nice. Good stuff. Thank you, Dominic. Oh, cool. So I'm good to print today. You are indeed, and it's in a really good state as well. Casilio, you'll love it. It's great fun. Thanks, Steve. Scott, good to see you. And yeah, we're kind of getting there. So it's Prestige. How are you doing, my friend? So we have the first little bit of news is I just wanted to show off the skills of Kevin, Madman on here, or Mad. What's the other handle? Mad Marshman on here, which almost sounds like a Sherlock Holmes reference. And we have this awesome. Listen to that. Fantastic. I want to show this because what this demonstrates is the type of things you can achieve through learning how to print and set yourself up to do stuff like this. It is flipping awesome. It's lovely and big. This is the original. It's not as thick as this one. It's still a really good quality, but this one is just amazing. Sounds like a body hitting the floor. Spooky. Splat. Yeah, so really pleased, and I just in awe. It's just nice to see a crafted object like this. Feels like it's come from a shop. So well done, Kevin. He's taking orders. Right. So the main theme for today, and we'll dive straight into it, is the haunted house. So this is going to be hopefully a handy vlog for those to look back on. I want to learn a bit more about the haunted house, and then we're going to do the playthrough next week on Halloween. It's kind of designed to be might go over the frame of the book. Yes, very true. Incidentally, we've got a few faux leathers left over. We're going to get the ones that were damaged repaired, and that means I think we'll probably free up some to go on the website as well, which will be particularly useful because we just don't want them sitting around. People can get their hands on them. All right, fantastic. So the haunted house, I had a rush of blood about 2 weeks ago, and I thought, hang on a minute, why the hell haven't I done a supplement for 2D6, an expansion that is a Halloween special? What could I do? Just came into my head, haunted house. Of course, first I thought, right, okay, how can I do this? This is going to be nice and easy. Of course, it took more development, and we had to come up with I came up with a whole series of rules, which my testers have been looking at, and we've had some really good results. So first things first, this is a digital, and you can see the back page is on the inside, which is not good. So just 10 minutes ago, I added an extra page in, so the back page is now on the back page. That was just an error on my part. So if you re-download the file, it will be in the right place if you want to print it out as a booklet. Now, some of you probably will have printed it out already. I'm talking to you, Kevin. So I don't know whether you added in an extra page or you've got a blank back page. I'm sorry about that. But it is a digital file. We aren't doing any printed files, copies of this at the moment. What this is going to be, this is going to go into the layers compendium that is going to be part of the next campaign. So it will be, we've got the 2 layers that we've already got in the last one. Then we can have this and then 2 more added. So we've got a bit of a thicker tome of layers that people can play. That's the plan so far. So don't necessarily hold me to that, but that's what we think is going to happen. Okay. So we are. So are we expecting Evil Santa's Grotto? That is a brilliant question. I know. Oh. I don't know. I just don't know. Possibly. It depends. Because you see, that will be in the middle of the camp. That'll be, well, towards the end of the campaign. 2d6 Realm. Because we plan, and I'll talk more about this on Thursday, to be launching 2d6 Realm in 4 weeks. So over this next week, I'm going to be typing up and refining some of the rules that I've written, so that they can go to testers like Nick and you guys out there, Kevin, and we will then and Jeff and Clive and all those people, and they'll get to have a look, and then I'll be putting the campaign together so we can have a look at the page and get some ideas and maybe doing some tests, and talk more about that on Thursday. So having a Christmas expansion at the end of that wouldn't necessarily fit in. It might be something that we save for next year. So we'll see. We'll just see. Right. So 2d6 Dungeon Haunted House expansion. Clever PDF. Savvy chaps could probably cobble together an extra page or two with all the tables required for the expansion, maybe even as part of a grid play sheet. Yeah, I volunteered as tester. Yes. Ebbit. Email me at toby@drgames.co.uk, my usual email address, and I can add you to the list, my friend. Okay, so introduction. I'm not going to read through all of these rules. I'm going to explain them as we go. Maybe read sections. Just because some of it's clear. Rain D6 games. Hi Clive, how you doing? What's the weather like over there in South Africa? I'm just messing around. I would not be a useful tester. Okay, I love having you on the stream though a bit. So, this is the Haunted House expansion for 2d6 Dungeon. A seasonal special features the rules and tables for exploring a haunted house. The clue is in the name. To play the Haunted House expansion, you will need the 2d6 core rules to reference, but there are some exclusive and themed rules below that make exploring the haunted house quite different to exploring a dungeon. So there you go. There are aspects of horror, and the setting is still in Corradine, but we have something different with this one. Let me just move on here. So, the Haunted House expansion is based in the same world as the rest of 2d6 Dungeon. And although the Haunted House, incidentally, going to be expanding out the lore for Corradine with the next campaign. So I'm excited to do that. Cannot wait. And there's going to be a really detailed map as well. This time, though, rather than playing the adventurer, you play a town constable and have been called to a house on the outskirts of town where something strange is happening. As it happens, all Death's Eve. It is All Death's Eve instead of obviously All Hallows Eve. I just wanted to kind of ground it in more of a Corradine type folklore rather than a human folklore, if you know what I mean. Want the site cleared so the evil does not spread to the rest of the village. So we've got this kind of influx, and it's all about low magic, and you find out more about that here. It's low magic. Now there's obviously a long tradition of low magic being used in the game, in games full stop. Okay, so it's a pretty common gritty type magic. So you've got it's kind of pagan, it's kind of witch, it's kind of witch doctor, that type of thing. All right, And that's where this is coming from. It's like voodoo dolls and cursed charms, that sort of thing. It's kind of a lower power rather than a high magic. I never wanted to create this as a high magic type environment. I think the land, such as Corridon, needs its own special brews, cakes, and sayings. There definitely will be stuff like that. Clive, how you doing? Good to see you, my friend. Sydney Bung investigates. So we've got this low magic. So you're constable. Now the constable can only go up to level 5. All right, he doesn't go down into dungeons. He has more of a limited selection, but there are slightly higher hit points once it becomes an imposing constable. All right. Now it happens to be all deaths either saying there's a focus of low magic and creatures come out in a kind of like a reckoning type situation, the dark correlation, where the energy is, and this is the day, this is the night. The constables come out and clear the haunted houses. Now he's a separate character you will maintain to one side, okay? So you have the adventurer and you have the constable. You're building up a kind of like a little portfolio of characters. And when 2d6 Realm comes out, there'll be more explanation about how you can use the constable in your realm. Right? So there's a Inspector Corner of the Yard. Sergeant Lookout of the Yard. Reading. I wasn't randomly saying things. I'm just reading the chat there. So you have this constable, and he has certain limited. He could have been an adventurer, but he didn't want to be in the end. But he had certain commitments and energy that drove him to want to protect the people. Okay. But with this one, because it's Halloween, we have a new asset. We have what's called the Fear Sheet. All right. Now, the Fear Sheet is one of the few psychological aspects that low magic can command is primal fear. All right. When you enter the haunted house, you will encounter a focused and pervasive fear that is amplified by low magic. This will affect your mind and torture your physical being. To represent this, there is an addition to your character sheet that is called the Fear Sheet. Fear me. Okay, here it is. So you print this out, and you have this next to your constable's sheet. And during your experiences, you will gain fear points, and they have a cumulative effect. I can't say the word. You know what I mean? They build up, and you retain. So you retain the previous effect. So, for example, if you're onto, you get 4 points. That's the word, Steve. Thank you. Cumulative, something like that. Sweat breaks out on your brow. You feel nauseous. Thrown weapons do 1 less damage. So that's when you get to the 4th point. Now you feel sickened by what you're seeing. When you use a healing potion of any sort, -1 from the total healed. Okay, all these count, and you slowly build up. If you should get 10 fear points, you crack, run your hands through your hair, and flee from the house screaming. You have failed, and the house, in a sense, has succeeded over you. Okay, so that's there. Now, also on here, you have magic banes. Now, these are objects that you find in the house, and they can be used like weapons against your enemy. Okay, and they have different effects. We'll look at some of those very shortly. Okay, so you got your fear sheets, how fear works. We had a little talk about that. Magic banes, right? So this is designed for low level characters. All right. It's like a one shot. Cumulative. That doesn't sound right. You sure that's right, Clive? So it's designed for low levels. So this is the constable. It's the first time you've used your constable. So he's level 1. This is a level 1 encounter. You can do a level. You can go in to a second house if you want to, but you then double the number of creatures in every second encounter apart from the loft. It's designed to be a short Halloween adventure with a small 3-level map. Okay, the size of the map is 11 by 11. Now, I haven't actually printed out an example map, but you can see here down in the corner that it is quite small. And you can see here that it's 11 by 11. So a normal dungeon is 20 by 20. So 2 of these levels is virtually the same as a normal dungeon space. And there's additional rules in this that will mean that you fill the whole square. Okay, the whole square, the whole foot of the house. So we've also got completing the house. The goal for the Haunted Attic is to clear all 3 levels. The final room is a loft space, and you need to explore every room on the map to clear out all the monsters that live there, so they will no longer threaten the town. Okay. Once this is done, the constable descends and leaves the house. Back in town, yeah, you get a small reward, but once you enter the house, the door closes behind you, and you can't escape until you've cleared all the evil. That is, unless you have 10 fear points, at which point you run from the house and it lets you leave because it senses a low magic, and the creatures there sense that you are completely lost to the fear. There's some special loot within the house. The gods don't have much presence in the house. That's important to know. Drawing creature encounters. So another important thing is we have a range of level 1 Halloween creatures. There are 4 humans, 4 undead, and 4 animals, all kind of Halloween themed. Now these are, you can roll for, but you can also just draw them. Draw one on a card that you print. Now, part of the reason why this has been highlighted here is because there is going to be a free Halloween creature card pack. Now, some of you are aware of the competition, and many of you have entered, which is fantastic. And I'm just in the process of putting those together. Now, I'm hoping it's going to be finished tomorrow, and it will be published as a free supplement to the Halloween. But also, you can use it in your other dungeon adventures if you want to. You could run a dungeon level 1, or pretend it's a lair and use the level 1 creatures and just draw 1 or draw 2 when you encounter different rooms, replacing level 1 humans or creatures or whatever. So that's going to be a handy tool. These hopefully will be included with the new cards pack that will go, that is part of the 2d6 realm campaign at the end of the year. Well, in a month. That's really how we want to do this. So, okay. We have no patrols, so there are no patrols. But if you do make a loud sound, you stop what you're doing. You gain 1 fear point consequently because you hear terrifying noises that become alerted to your presence. All right. So though that is an important aspect, and there are no eating rations. There's no point in it. You can't gain any benefit from eating rations in this one-shot type environment. Just purchased it. Loved it. Cheers, Toby. Thank you, Brian. Ebbit, I can't stick around today, but am looking forward to watching the rest of the VOD. Thank you, Ebbit. Loving the theme and rules changes so far. Yeah. Thank you. Room and door generation. So there are a number of different things going on with the door, the room generation. So the whole level is considered one room. Now that means that potion effects will last for the whole house, for example. rather than just a smaller, narrower level. Okay, and I think that is basically because part of the design are potions that last for a whole level and help you with certain tests that you will experience in the game, that you have to do in game. So that's kind of lengthens that out and makes that accessible, those benefits. Got it already, looking forward to play. Thank you, Nico. Yes, I think you were the first one to buy it, which is fantastic. Thank you. So we have so will future jobs for our constable include solving murders, kidnaps, thieves, gang warfare, etc., etc.? It could be any of those, to be honest. I will have to. Solving murders may be a challenging one to write into this style, but I'm definitely willing to give it a go. But dealing with bandits, dealing with trouble in town, in your lair, in your realm, when you have your realm, might well be the case. You could send your constable to that situation and they can deal with it, whatever the situation is. There's a doors and locks. Right. Every door in the haunted house is wooden. Important to know. Draw them in as you go. They are also unlocked, but they have a mind of their own, the low magic seeping into the once living wood of the structure. When using a door, roll a d6. On a 5 or 6, you roll on a HDT, the haunted door table, for something strange is going on. And you get there's some effect. And we'll have a little look at that in a minute. Figuring out the mysteries of the haunted house could be a follow-up too. That is very true. We could do something like that. There are a few mysteries in the house that are kind of like you'll be able to put your own spin on. There's a door on every wall, okay, apart from the outer wall, outer boundary, and you push rooms into spaces. Is that really not a very good example there? But some of the other ones that people have sent have been good. So if you've got like gaps or spaces and you generate a room that's bigger than a space but it will fit up into a space, then you should do that. There are no exit squares in this map design, so the rooms use the walls that are there rather than putting an exit square next to a room, so they're tightly compact, which is really important. There are no corridors generated. You sometimes end up with a corridor because of the space that's there, but they're considered to be small rooms. So you have a +1. If you roll a 1, you +1 to it. So 1 becomes a 2 automatically, which means that you have more rooms within the house rather than just a series of corridors. There are no large rooms, and there are 18 different types of room, which I'll talk about in a minute. So you have, when you go into level 1, you put this corridor down the middle here with 4 doors, and you then work off these corridors as stairs at the end. And when you go up to level 2, you basically put a room in like this, a 2x5, and there are 4 doors there. And those give you the entrance points into the house where you will explore. So that's kind of it. You will obviously need to read through this your book yourself. It's how many pages is that? It's 10 pages of rules, 10 A5 pages of rules, and you are then left with a fairly it's a well-tested little system that seems to have produced exactly what we want in this small place for the house. Rather than a kind of large, sprawling, well laid out dungeon, this is a tight, compact little adventure. So the tables that we've got, let's have a look at some of these. We can go down a bit closer because we've got this different format now. We've got the casket or small box table. So for example, there is a small bottle here. It is a potion of consistency. Next to it is a small silver idol worth 3d6 silver coins. Bearing in mind, this is treasure for level 1 characters, so it's not going to be massive. Dark miasma table. So in some of the rooms you see, there's some clouds or some mist or some kind of hazy cloud that you've got to try and you kind of drawn to and experience. And there's some bad stuff happening here. The black smoke suddenly becomes a cloud of bats. They swarm around you and fly off. Gain 1 fear point. So things like that happen. You walk through and feel something grab you. You pull free, but one large random item is gone if you were carrying any. Okay, so there's a sense of something invasive that is coming into this game here. The haunted door. Alex, how are you doing? Sorry I missed this. I just arrived. Can we use our 2d6 dungeon regular player to discover this house? Actually, that is a really good question, Alex. This adventure has been designed for the Constable. It's a level 1 adventure. Now, the Constable's a new character. Now, there's no... I mean, if you want to take a level 1 adventurer through this, there's no harm in doing so. It's not really aimed at that character, because basically, as the game evolves, we're going to have different characters that you can develop and bring into the world of Corodine. So it's really kind of done that. Love that, damn it. Yes. Yeah. So damn it. It wasn't something I did purposely, but then when I saw it, I decided that it's perfect and I'll keep it. So this table is rather a damn it table, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, it is interesting. You'll read about it and you'll see what we're dealing with. So we have haunted door table. This is important, so you may well end up rolling on this a few times while you're in. Remember, you've got to roll every time you open a door. You've got to roll a d6, and it's a 5 or 6. Then you have to roll on this table. Okay. Hi Nick, how are you doing? Good to see you, my friend. Might balance the scenario if a normal adventure can use magic whilst in the haunted house. It's true. I mean, it's one of these things. You're just going to have to... If you want to do it, play it, that's fine. It's fine. But your adventure will be OP if he goes into the dungeon, more than likely. So it's one of these things to think about. So, haunted door, loft space. So when you go up to level 3, there's one room. And it's going to be one of these rooms. Observatory, grisly storage, cursed chamber, ritual space, twin mirrors, vision room. Okay. Hey Joanna, good to see you. And it's each of these you fight 2. It's interesting. Now that's actually should be... That update hasn't seemed to have gone through on that. There should be +2. Well, I'll update that immediately. So on the roll, I may have not put the table in the thing. Let me just make a note of this. So I may not have put the image, but when you're in loft space, it's +2 to the roll. And I'm going to upload that once I finish the stream. I must have not just put the picture in, which is annoying. And they can crack due to their fear. They go insane and cannot go any more dangerous lairs. They are the shell of their former self. Indeed, they may well be. So that needs to be that one there needs to be updated, and I'll do that once the stream is. Just take me a minute. It's just a question of putting an image in. Okay, so we have haunted house small rooms. So there are obviously a fair few small rooms in the haunted house, and there's a selection here. We then have the haunted house rooms. Okay, haunted house level 1 part 1. So you can see here there's a wider space. So each room has 2 sets of dice rather than one set of dice for each room. This is because it's a house. There aren't that many different types of room, And so I decided to kind of compile it down, expand out the descriptions a little bit more to make this a little bit more narrative orientated. And there are so many rooms, and it is really designed to be done once or twice by each character. So that kind of like my thinking on that front. And you've got the level 2 with another 18 rooms, and we have the then we can go on to some other stuff. We've got a Magic Bane table here. Just roll that down a little bit. The item is a small wooden spike wrapped in twine, a face with drawn eyes carved into the head. The legs coming together as a point. Plunge this into your palm before a fight to slow the opponent, reducing their shift by 1. The item is a wooden mask carved in a primitive manner. If you wear this during combat, drums fill the air and you become invigorated. Double your damage you do in combat. Then the mask splits in 2 and cannot be used again. So there's theme. It's kind of magical items. We've got some random loot over here. Always good. Almost missed things. Hey Todd, how are you doing? Good to see you. And we have a strange object table. The object is a beating heart that suddenly explodes. You jump back in shock. Gain 1 fear point. The item is a crystal ball. You look into it and see a dark form running at you. Then it shatters. In your next combat, +1 shift. So stuff like that. Magical items. And then one of the worst tables you can roll on is the wall hanging table. For example, there are sticks and twine pinned to the wall in the shape of a star. You feel your body drawn to it and you're suddenly levitated and pulled into the contraption. Roots bind your arms and thorns stab you before you are released. Gain 1 fear point and lose 2 HP health points. So we're looking at a whole range of tables there that are, as we say, heavily themed to this spooky location. Okay, so, and then we have some creatures. Let's have a look at the creatures. We've got a clay ogle, named after the first actor who played Frankenstein on screen. Ogle was his name. Someone Ogle. And he is quite a powerful creature. Big old... he's an animated body plied with daubs of clay and then resurrected by low magic. Some of these are associated with the enchanter. Some of them are associated with the witch doctor. The dark enchanter here. The low magic. Warning, watch out for the haunted doors, people. They nearly did my poor constable. Exactly. So there was something I clarified with the doors. When you go back through them, you don't have to roll for the haunted door. It's just when you go through them. That's where we're at with those. It's a gargoyle and a giant bat. We also have some animals. We have a morphed beast, a possessed owl, a shrunken head. It's a guy with a shrunken head, and a spirit. Some undead critters. And then we have the straw mannequin, the tortured being, and the witch doctor, and the wolf spawn. We did the wolf spawn together on the stream, if you remember. The witch doctor is another one of these key characters in this particular thing. He is, or she, whoever it is, creates the straw mannequins, which is and they're also they're probably something to do with the tortured beings as well. The witch doctor was the first enemy I faced on my first try. I had him down to 1 health, then he killed me. Yes, there's some pretty good stuff going on there. We've got a few special attacks, like with the witch doctor special attack, but the wolf spawn does. And we've got the clay ogle, it shakes, you lose D6 random coins, and we've got a backpack crush with the gargoyle. So that's pretty much where at the back we've got some bits and pieces. So the backs of the cards there, black and white, and the colour ones depending on what you want to print. And that is the haunted house. So really pleased with how that has come together. Like to thank all the guys. So we've got here Clive, Jeff, Nick, Jonathan, Steve, Scott, Todd and Brett. Jeff and Jonathan, some really amazing mechanical observations which really helped. So thank you guys, that was really good. Those doors on the first level gained me fear almost every time. Second level had better rolls, but already too high on fear by that point. Yes, I was wondering where Ogle came from. Interesting about being the first Frankenstein monster in the movies. Yes. Well, I thought, why not? Why not? I like to have little references like that in the game. There's a few scattered around. So yeah, really excited to be able to play this on Halloween. And it's seasonal. I know that Scott Ithacus Bain here in the chat with us, I think said he's going to do a stream, a Halloween stream for this one. So if you're not following his channel, make sure you do. We'll put it up on the Facebook group as well. Some Halloween spirit that we can all kind of have some fun with. So there we are. I am delighted with the response so far. We've got it up on the website, drgames.co.uk, in the shop there. It's cheaper there. It's still available on. It's available on DrivethruRPG and itch.io. So they're there. It's a bit more expensive there because they charge. To be honest, they take a percentage of my stuff. No stream, just videos. Sorry, yeah, videos. Sorry, can't figure out how to stream. That's what I mean. Ithacus Bain will do a video. Jim, good to see you. Hey Toby, I got my 2-6 package this past Friday and love it very much. Well, that is awesome. It's a wonderful thing when I see people putting on comments about getting the packages, how much you're enjoying it. It is really cool. I'm just so excited to really dive deep into 2d6 realm. Now we can put this to one side. I will be apart from streaming, obviously on Halloween, we'll be really sort of knuckling down on Corradine, how to run your realm, how you use the constable, how you gain a title, how you develop your land. It's going to be exciting. So we are going to talk about that on Thursday. I got a bit of a sore throat. So that's going to be cool. So that is the haunted house. Has anybody got any questions about that? Because it's only a short stream today, just because we're going to be looking at this. On Tuesday. So I have a question. If an enemy such as a witch doctor summons another creature and the text says to fight it, does the witch doctor wait in the background? Yes, Johnny, yes, they do. And I forgot to answer. Was that you, Johnny, that put that down there? That is what happens. You fight that creature and then you fight the witch doctor. Now, we've also had discussions about how that affects your shift dice. You just keep it. You can do it either way. You can keep it as the 6, and you both get +3 shift, or you can restart the shift dice when you fight the witch doctor, and that is a more complex aspect of fighting, which I haven't really put down in text in one of these yet. But I think I will have to confront those more intricate aspects of combat, especially seeing I'm kind of planning on doing like a magic user character at some point, so it's going to be important to have those sorts of things nailed. Steve said sob Rad Zone RPG in 2026, sob. Yeah, I'm going to be doing some bits and pieces of Rad Zone RPG and putting those out there. I get like a vibe, a rush to want to do some, Steve. So it's still there, it's still burning inside me, and I will, make every effort to slowly develop that. Because the development team here is very little. It's just me. So I kind of think to myself, where's the energy? Where's the energy? I don't know how many people are going to buy into a Rad Zone RPG at this particular moment in time, but I think it's a project that I love, and it's the backbone to what this company is about. So it is going to get done. I think restarting the shift is the easiest option. Otherwise, it gets too complicated. Yeah, you can restart the shift. I need to put more in about that. Gods of the Light. Worship might Clive. Will the gods from the dungeon be confined down there and new gods appear and the villagers worship, or might they be the gods up above too? There are going to be other gods, and those gods are ideas are forming. Okay, so there's like 6 gods in the subterranean world, and it would only make sense that there are 6 gods on the surface. But of course, it's going to change with the evolution of Corradine and how I write the history, because I've been dying to sit down and just plot out a map, just work on a map for a few hours. Haven't had a chance yet, but I will do. And as I do that, I'll be thinking about the world and different gods and influences. And maybe there is one of the things that I've been thinking about is there's going to be a city, a big city, that it may be that we have at some point a 2d6 city or something like that, where you go to the main city from your realm and visit there potentially. Only joshing, you've got to concentrate on the big. If my mind wanders off the Rad Zone, then I could happily be there doing some writing, Steve. So it's not all about that. It is about where my energy lies more often than not, and I will try and hammer it as much as I can, get as much out. If it's in there, I will try and get it down. The god of dice, yes, that could be the cruelest of all gods, indeed. Subterranean gods are not evil or good, exactly, but they're underneath. They're yeah. There will be. I will come up with some sort of grid, maybe, or some kind of presence chart where there's land and gods kind of exist in different areas, and we'll see how that goes. Joyce, hence you've seen, yes, of course, yeah. The dice gods do not like Scott, though they do have a bit of a darker side to some of them. Indeed, they do. There is definitely a sense of something darker to those subterranean gods. Fantastic. Okay, I think we're going to leave it there, and I'm going to be back on Thursday. So this is 2D6 Haunted House. It is out. It is there. If you're watching this VOD back, go in and check out the links. I will put them in the description of the video. Thanks again to everybody who's helped me with this. I will, of course, be all across the socials over the next few days, answering questions and helping people if they're having any problems downloading or getting their hands on this new expansion. It's exciting. And then on Thursday, I'm going to be doing the roadmap. So I'm going to be looking at 2D6 over the next 2 years. I've been thinking a lot about it. We're obviously, as a small business, it's vital that we plan out the projects that we're going to be doing, and obviously 2D6 is integral to making allowing us to bring these games to you, bring all this stuff to you. So cool. All right then. I will see you on Thursday. Have a good couple of days. It won't be long, and I'll be back again with some other stuff. And of course, I'll be talking about IST as well then, with the new update for that. So guys, take care, and I will catch up with you very soon.